loads of cocoa coir. And I've sifted a bag of dirt. Oh, look at that. Lovely. I'll mix all that up with a pair of gloves on and do 2 more carrot pots. Carrot pots and coffee. I got coffee from the coffee shop. They called me and said, we have a bunch of coffee grounds, so I got those.
I've been thinking about myself today, thinking how I changed, how I really don't care if you are here or if you don't stay. Now I'm feeling those winter blues.
Oh, good morning. It's the last day of June, and here come the lilies. I need to do some pruning, deadheading, clearing. I have seeds to collect. Yeah, got some seed heads to collect from. Seed heads. That's a miniature lily that's not very happy where it is. Everything needs water, water, and water some more because it's bone dry out here. Yeah, and this lily over here. This oleatris is coming up. Bee balm. Hydrangeas are flowering. And more lilies. And today we were going to talk about thugs, weren't we? Thugs in the garden. Well, the prime thug in this bed is these. Michaelmas daisies and crocosmias. Now, I pulled out every one I thought crocosmia bulb last year, and I dig out every year, and I got bit by a ladybug. Pull out every year all the Michaelmas daisies I can think of, and they come back with a vengeance. That's thug number 1 and 2. This lovely purple flower, I believe it's bugleweed, and the flippin' term weed should have been my first clue, right? Look at it. I don't know if you can see that. Get you down low. It is everywhere. But wait till you see the worst of it. Goldenrod, same thing. That's Gerald's license plate for his lawnmower, which he has to cut the lawn over here. This is his section of the yard. I don't touch it. But look at this. Between the clover or whatever it is and the daisies and more bugleweed, it's just a frickin' gong show. And the moles, but they're not what we're got some squash coming finally. These are the summer crooknecks, and I hand pollinated it because I wasn't sure if it would do. That is a carnation. I believe it's a dianthus. Yeah, dianthus. I have to split that up and put it in the ground. That's not the thugs I'm talking about. Come on, let's go look at the thugs. The thugs are waft, 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 waft. Lupins, absolute thug. Poppies, absolute thug. This thing, it is apparently, I thought it was I'm sure I planted a, the word is Rudbeckia, a red Rudbeckia. It is not a Rudbeckia. It is apparently fleabane, and its last Latin part of its name is Anus, A-N-N-U-S or something like that. Figures I'd put something in the garden that's a butt, right? But yeah, total thug, and it's coming out. I know it's, you know, pretty and everything else, but to me it looks like a flippin' weed, and I don't want it spreading. Look at my hydrangeas, aren't they gorgeous? So yeah, so that is another one. Calendula, an absolute thug in the garden. Once you've got one, you've got 5 million. The nigella, I love the word nigella. I love the flower nigella. But oh my God, the bees love it, but it's taking over the yard. So what we've done is we've brought out, oh, my lilies are almost going to open, and my sunflowers are. I have earwigs back there. I'm trying to figure out a trap for them. I've got some plastic from the garden center, the Home Depot. Gerald and I were getting some wood for his son yesterday. And what I'm going to do is cut these in strips. And I'm going to tie it on plants I want to remove. Because we all know that by the time I say to myself, oh, I should move that little lily because it's being buried in the garden, by the time we get around to remembering that in the fall, it's already died back and I can't see it anymore. So I'm going to tie this around things that I want to move next year. So that sounds like my plan today, but look, here come my lilies. Aren't they gorgeous? And it's just, can't wait for that. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. The bees are having a great time today. But yeah, I need to start, poppies look horrible when they start dying off, don't they? They look, blech. Anyway, so we need to start tying ribbons on things that we're going to be taking out. Hydrangeas I'm not touching, they're fine. But yeah, calendula, it's like, oh my god, I threw calendula seed everywhere and now I've got calendulas everywhere. Tomatoes are doing really good out here. I'm just going to do one big huge video probably today so I don't have to do a lot of editing. They've got loads of flowers coming on them. I tickle them whenever I can. But like everybody else, they're doing this splitting thing. I don't know if it's a side shoot or a split or whatever, but because they're, you know, not taking over, I will leave them as be. That one did the same thing. It's got a V in it and it just split right off. So the beans are starting to climb. Those are my purple beans. My labels are all on the fence, so I know what everything is. I just keep moving them up higher because they get buried in everything. So yeah. So yeah, loads of, I gotta come out and side shoot yet again. I have to figure out how to get in there to side shoot those because the asparagus is taking over that bed. That's another thug. This is a squash and I don't remember what kind it is, so I'll wait till it gets a squash on it. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, thugs are gorgeous in their own way, but they're thugs. So yeah, so we'll get some ties on stuff and see if we can't get anything done. And I don't know if you can see, we'll go up, way up. That is my tallest sunflower so far. It's not opened yet. And it looks like it's probably about 8 feet tall. You'll see how much, I keep having to tie it up to stuff, but one has sticks that are only so tall, right? So we'll see. I have no idea what they are because they were supposed to be, finger quotes, pink and blue, and they're definitely not that. So yeah. So yeah, so let's get some ribbons on stuff that's going to get taken out this year in the fall, and we'll go from there. Okay, bye. Okay, we're going to finish this up hopefully before it gets too hot. So the other one I forgot to mention was this tiny little beautiful viola. It, I had to pull out, it's over there on the ground. I had to pull out a plant in my raspberry bush that was probably the size of a small house. And it was draining all the water and nutrients out of the soil. So I pulled that out. Don't worry about it. They self-seed everywhere in this yard. They're everywhere. The other one is London Pride. Again, don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful flower, but it also takes over. So here's a couple of things with red tags on them that's going to get moved next year. I'll probably move that lupin there to try and keep the paths a bit clearer. I pulled out a bunch of the poppies because I have a gajillion poppies still to self-seed. The sedum, this was my fault. I forgot to pinch them out and cage them. I know, Nick, you tell me every year you should pinch them out. It works really good. The Chelsea chop, I think you call it. And I forget every year to do it. I'm supposed to tomato cage them. Like, these are supposed to have nice tight heads on them, like cauliflowers. Mine do not, because I let them run wild. So I pulled out a bunch of poppies. I pulled out almost all the, I gotta clean the ground now. I pulled out almost all the nigella and stopped panicking. It, again, will self-seed and take over the yard. More poppies over there. That's the other thing I put in there and I shouldn't have. Not the peony, it's beautiful. The buddleia, that's going to have to get moved. Although it's beautiful and it attracts lots of pollinators, it's up against the cage. Because when I put it in there, it was really small. So I wasn't worried about it. and it's taking over that whole corner, so it needs moving to a spot where it can spread a bit more. Other than that, I think there's tags on a few things, like this lily here. This is one of those tiger lilies. It's got its own tag because it gets buried in here. Oh, you're a weed. Oh, you bugger. Look at you. Cocky bugger, aren't you? That's the other problem. When you've got so much stuff in here, I found huge amounts of mare's tail in this bed because I can't see it. My teeny tiny cosmos. I'm hoping those spread. So yeah, next year, I don't know what that is. I think it's a pea, but I'm not sure. I'll probably just end up pulling it out because if you don't know what it is, it's getting pulled out. I don't know what that is either, but I think it's a sage of some sort. Where was I going with this conversation? Yeah, tomatoes are doing good. Stop saying Allison. Conversation was about, yeah, planting flowers. Lots of flowers are good for the garden. Lots of flowers are not so good for the garden because they take over the garden and then you can't find anything. My shiso is going to flower, which is fine. Lots of bees out here today. These are my white Eskimo marigolds, and they've been in there since probably March. And yeah, not doing absolutely sweet bugger all. So yeah, so I'm trying to pull out things as I see them that don't need to be in the yard, or tagging things that need putting in a spot where they've got better spacing to grow and be appreciated. Got a cucumber. See, I've got a cucumber in there somewhere I can't get to. I have a cucumber back there somewhere I can't get to. And yes, hopefully I can get to it from the other side of the fence, since I've emptied all the pots over there now. I emptied out my potatoes because they were dying, so it's just been too dry. I'll insert a picture of my red apple potatoes. They're absolutely stunning. This is the other problem. Sorry about the shadow, not sorry. This is the other problem with flowers that drop all their petals everywhere. It makes an absolute mess, and I don't like a mess. This is another one, Candy Tuft. I've cut the size of a small Volkswagen out of that corner over there. It spreads like crazy. Propagates super easy, in case anybody wanted to try some. From cuttings and some rooting hormone. Yeah, so that's about it today, the last day of June. A shot of the hydrangeas, which need pushing back because I pruned them this year. They just went mental in the dry heat. Yeah, it's the flower takeover. So anything that's got red tags, I'll hopefully be able to get taken out this fall. See, look, more. This was one tiny little clump of London Pride. London Pride was one of my Nana's favorite flowers. That's why I grow it. Teddy bear sunflowers are about to pop out into colour. Apple trees are doing fine. They still have a few apples I haven't killed yet from moving things. Jimmy's and Shawn's Cosmos. And that's a red Rudbeckia. I actually had to go out and buy a red Rudbeckia because the red Rudbeckia I bought was not a red Rudbeckia. Nothing much else. These are carrots that have been in here for a year, and they're doing sweet you know what all, so they're getting pulled. If you ain't growing, you're going. Those are radishes. You can't see them, but I can. They're about 2 inches tall, and they're bolting. Like, hello? How do you bolt when you haven't even actually done anything, right? Sorry, it's really super bright out here. Anyway, that's the weed. Gets, oops, thrown over there. Come on in the greenhouse. Marigolds are actually starting to flower. This one's a beautiful dark color. I have to keep track of what they are so I remember to save seeds from them. I've got a melon somewhere. Where was it? Like a mini melon. These are Halonas and Diplomat. They're tiny, obviously. That's a given. Yeah, I thought I had a melon on here, but I might not. We'll see. Anyway, melons to come, right? Tomatoes are tomatoing. I gave them a feed. Feed me Friday. That's how I remember. My basil is flowering. Basil. Yeah, everything's doing pretty good, actually. Not dead, and not dead is good, right? I don't know what that is. I think it's a Black Beauty melon, and it's not doing good. But the tomatoes are fine. Savoy cabbage is fine. These are my carrots for the giant carrot challenge. They're looking good, but I'm hoping they don't bolt. I put some spring onions in here, and apparently I threw too many spring onions in here. But they're the best spring onions I've got so far. So these are the carrots from Jimmy and Shawn. I am getting... I have to be careful with eggplants because they've got aubergine, they've got prickles on them. Might chop some of these leaves off. We're getting flowers, and which means we should be getting fruits, right? Yep, flowers and fruits and flowers. That's my garlic, which is still going to seed when that's exactly what we want. Another melon, I think it's a Black Beauty. No, it's a sugar baby. And a squash of some sort that apparently randomly showed up. These are my saved seeds for my Red Bull, and they've got absolutely nothing on them. Whether they'll get a flower ever, I don't know. This is the thong. It's from Carmel Bella. She has some gorgeous tomatoes. Very expensive though. So I'm hoping to save seeds from them all. That one is Metallica. It's also a Bella and a dwarf. Anything in here is a dwarf tomato. Or a microgreen. Still, maybe... Oh, I do. I have a cucumber. Okay, we have cucumbers. Okay, we have cucumbers. Look. Look, we have cucumber. Finally. Woohoo! We have a cucumber. Oh, and apparently a spider web as well. Yuck. Yeah. There's another one. They're tiny, but hey, they're doing okay. Those are the Thunder Mountain Jimmy, and I don't think I'll get much off them this year, but as long as I get seed from them, I'm happy. A bug of some sort. I have no idea what kind. I'm always leery of killing bugs because they might be good bugs, so I have to go search for them all on Google. Peppers have got flowers. Tomatoes have got flowers. This is my cherry mocha from Mel. That's the dwarf from Mark. Ganggang and peanut. It is a, oh, that's my Great Scott, and I have a spare Great Scott down there. Yeah, it's getting quite warm in here. It is, so it says it's only 21, but it's cooking. It's supposed to be the hottest day tomorrow, so we'll see. Anyway, that's it for this June tour. I don't really have loads of other things. These are leeks. I got to find somewhere to put them, and those are Elaine's giant onions. I got to find a spot to put them. I might put them in one of these veggie pods. Anyway, so that is our June tour. And I should have put this at the beginning, but I'll put it at the end. I'll put you over here so you can see me. Can you see me? Put you, oops. There, how's that? Is that better? So I wanted to just apologize to everybody. I've not done anything wrong, I don't think. I've not changed anything, but all of a sudden I'm not getting any notifications of comments, and I'm not getting notifications of some of your content. But I'm also, channels are falling off my list, so I'm trying to remember and go back and see who's missing and who's not. So yeah, so if it takes me a while to get back to you with comments, that would be why. And I have tried following the instructions of how to set your notifications for email, and it's just not working. So it is what it is. It's just YouTube being a you know what. Anyway, have a great day and happy July tomorrow. Bye. So, excuse me, since we're on the thug flowers and things like that, what I am learning, and we're always should be learning, especially from our mistakes, is I'm learning to read, sorry, dirty fingernails, I was out cutting along, read these things, height 24 inches, height 18 to 24. These ones are 10 and 12, so much shorter plants to put in spots that you don't have any huge, areas. So they can't become quite as much of a thug as some that are obviously, 2 or 3 feet tall. Some other things to keep track of and read from the backs of packages. Some packages are really, really good. Other packages, not so much. But get as much information as you can from a package before you start sewing to put in a bed. Like these ones say they're 8-inch spacing between plants. It's a 12 to 18 inches high. You know, things like that. Seed spacing is really important for what you're putting into a plant area. The other thing that I find really a shame about plants and seedlings when you buy them is they don't mention whether they're a spreading plant, whether they're invasive, whether they need cold stratification. None of that stuff is normally on a seed package. I'm looking for one to see if there's anything that says anything about, oops, upside down, seed stratification or anything like that. But just to, you know, keep track of these things, that whether you can save seed from them, whether they will run as a root runner like we found with some of the things that I've got in my garden. So just to keep track of what you're growing. Don't just say, oh, that looks like a really cool plant, and throw it in the ground. I have done that a million times, and as we have seen, I'm paying the price for it now. So that's just my tips and hints for seed sowing things. Bye.